There's a pair of Welsh yetis right there. We'll see. I've got something in my pack to tackle them with. Come on. Anything. Right, that'll have to do. I think I can tackle a pair of yetis with this. Right, let's go sneak up on them. Now, not only is there a pair of yetis here, there's also gators here as well. I'll mostly find gators where there's water. And this is your yeti. It's a boot cover. It's gore-tex, British Army. It'll cover all around the edge of your boot and zip up, as well as having Velcro and a pop stud zipper like this. And they are an absolute pig to get on to your boot, but I'm going to show you something that's going to make this a whole lot easier. I'm going to dig one out that's already been done. British Army yeti. Sits over your boot like that. You can see how the band sits here in the centre of your boot, just behind the heel. Some people will get a knife and trim their actual boot here, some of the tread off it, to get this centre band to fit, but these fit pretty well. This is the rubber from the yeti that comes all the way around. It's a tight fit. There is a left and a right, and it will say so on here. Some advice that I have heard is to soak your yeti in boiling water for a period of time to soften the rubber, enabling it to fit your boot a lot better. The boots I'm using are my winter boots. I'm using my pro boots. Getting the yeti onto the boot is a nightmare, whether you boil it, and I've also tried using Vaseline as well to try and help that rubber sit on, but the minute you do that, it slips off. And I know some soldiers will put a dab of super glue around here, trying to keep it in place. The secret is to get this boot without using petroleum jelly, washing up liquid, or anything like that, including we don't really want to heat up the rubber. But I'm going to show you a way that's a lot simpler. I'm going to undo the yeti, and on the front portion here is where the actual toe of the boot comes out, and start pulling on the heel, on the rubber, until this centre bar sits a little better. And I want to force the back of this rubber to sit on the back of the heel of the boot. That will be the next step, and yet have the centre bar here remaining under the tread. We can get that far. We're halfway there. This bit is the easier bit. And it should look a little like this. It'll start falling into shape once I pull this toe section over the boot here. That's the hardest part. A lot of people will tuck their two fingers in and try and pull it over. You got no chance. You just haven't got the leverage to do that. And remember, I don't want to use soap. I don't want to use petroleum jelly, and I don't want to heat up the rubber. Leverage is going to come from a simple claw hammer, and the claw section here is what I'm going to hook under the rubber, put this on the toe and lever the whole shebang onto the boot. It may leave a scuff print here, so don't do this with your best boots. Let's just hook this in, make sure I don't catch the laces. Start pulling, tucking the boot in, and then lever it over. It will go. Right, I need to bring this rubber so it sits on the sole here of the boot, and believe it or not, I am absolutely puffed out already. Let's lever it into place. It's not bad. I just want to see the tread of the rubber boot just poking out, and the Yeti rubber sitting on top. On the front, looks like this. I've left again some tread, and on this side you can see I've left the tread again. At the back it could do with being a little neater here, and it has a button system, male and female, and this will keep the Yeti close to the boot. Zip with a baffle on the Velcro will keep all the debris from entering the zip. A pop stud on the top. And finally, what will keep this on your calf is a couple of cinch buttons here. One, two, buttle my shoe. When I first got these Yetis, I struggled with them for years and years. I tried boiling them, I used petroleum jelly, I didn't have the leverage in the two fingers to do the pulling and everything, and when I did, it trapped my fingers underneath the boot and the rubber. I used so much petroleum jelly that when it did go on and I was walking in mud, it actually come off, and I think we can see an extract of that from when I tried to put these on a couple of years ago. Should be enough to keep my feet and my trousers pretty mud free, and it'll waterproof the boots as well a bit. The trouble with these ones here is the toe part of the Yeti gaiter keeps slipping off the toe of my boot. You see, it's already covered in mud. And this rubber section is meant to be over the toe section here. And what a lot of lads do in the BRIT Army is put a dab of super glue all the way around there to get this rubber to stick on there, and then the peg to fit as well. But this won't come off because there's no petroleum jelly, and it doesn't need super glue to hold it on either. These are now ready for the winter. It's not winter now at the time of recording, but I like to get all my winter gear jobs done now. Another thing I like to do is start buying kit for winter in the summer. I don't want to get to winter and find that there was a tent or a sleeping bag or something I would have liked and I haven't saved up for it. But now when winter comes, I've got the kit to cope with it. So this is how you deal with a pair of Yetis. Now Berghaus make a pair, and they might not require this kind of heavy duty treatment. The rubber on their Yeti, on the Berghaus, is not as robust as the British Army rubber, and perhaps you could marry that on just with your fingers, but these are a job and a half. I wouldn't like to try it any other way than with a claw hammer or a little jemmy, a little crowbar. You can, anything that you can use a 2-prong on and use leverage, it really will help a lot. Also in the winter are muck lucks. I love these to bits. Let's have a look at these. In the winter, these will go over your boots. Also, they're actually insulated with a quilt liner, and it has the drawer fasteners on the top also here. Big, thick, chunky sole designed for the snow. I wouldn't do much road walking with these. Not the same kind of height as the actual Yeti. It'll come up just under the back of your knee here, and you can put your boot in here. You won't be able to use a hammer or anything on this. It's just going to be a tight fit. The insole, incredibly thick. That is my finger. It's a finger's depth of what looks like styrofoam. That is a lot of insulation, a hell of a lot. I could choose to put these on boots that aren't so warm. Just going to get a very quick brew together first. Back onto the stove for a few minutes, then we can go and see if we can find a pair of gators down by the water. Gators. It's just a wrap that goes around the bottom of your leg. There's a hook here that just catches onto your lower lace. Little pop stud here to finish it all off. The top where the calf muscle is elasticated, but mine is missing the strap that goes underneath your actual boot. I've jerry-rigged some garden wire and paracord on, which is a bit of a field fix at the time. The leather got wet over time, it perished. Hence the requirement for me to try out the Yetis. Now I've had these about maybe 3 years, and a really great replacement to the actual gators here. You're going to get these just for a few quid. Now I don't know how much the Yetis were. Well worth having a quick look about on the internet. Use your search engine to find out how much your Yetis would be. A much better consideration for me over the gators. Nothing wrong with the gators. A Yeti just does more. These, I take or leave them. I'll never wear these again. I've got a pair of mountaineering ones which aren't army issue. They're just nice, lightweight. Again, great for just having a walk in woodland like this, and you want to keep debris from going into your boot or your shoe. So yetis, gators and mucklucks, that is what we've had a look at today. Now I just put them away and wait for winter. The gators, great for a summer hike, but like I said, I've just got some civilian gators which seem to do the job pretty well. Luckily here in North Wales we don't actually have the snow monster yeti, or do we? There's one. There. And you'll be seeing a lot more of me with the yeti. So until next time, keep your feet nice and dry and have happier trails. All gone.